A High-Pitched Cry for Help by Problematic _Lana on AO3. Chapter 14. The Quirk for a Future Hero. Izuku was doing so much better. It was the beginning of his third week with the married couple, and with some Quirk-related help, he was now able to walk around the house and meet the cats, Princess and Bastard. For the names, you can probably guess who named who. Princess was, as expected, all over the kid, no questions asked. She was getting really chubby too, so if the kid woke up one day and couldn't breathe because she laid on top of him, well, she didn't look like she regretted it. Bastard, as his name implied, was being a brat. He made it his mission to follow the kid around and watch his every interaction with Princess. That was his lady, after all. But, well, we were game over with some treats and pets. Who could resist that, anyways? In no time, both cats named the kid their leader, sleeping with him and not letting anyone get too close without a warning, which takes us to the current situation. Both Aizawa and Mike had made arrangements to keep the kid as far away from the hospital and the police station as possible, which led to another visit from Recovery Girl with the nurse she once talked about. Asami, the pink-haired nurse, that once studied under her guidance of Kaio, was super happy to be invited to the house of her favorite radio station host. She even got an autograph out of it. Asami's quirk was quirk perception, which allowed her to know another person's quirk and how it affected their body. Contrary to popular belief, it was very useful for her profession. "Hello there." She immediately greeted Izuku, who was grabbing Mike's pants for emotional support. Izuku, whose hair was now shorter, but a lot healthier and fluffier, waved at her direction, looking at Recovery Girl, who was there before Asami, and explained to him her quirk. They all made sure to let the kid know that since this was his quirk, he was in full control of the situation, and that really made wonders to keep him calm. "Your dad's already talked to you about what my quirk does, right?" No one corrected her, just accepted it as a fact. Izuku looked up, his eyes rapidly going from Aizawa to Mike, a few times. After reaching some conclusion, he looked at her again and nodded. The practicing nurse sat on the ground, and although it was kind of odd, no one said anything. "Great, let me tell you how it works then." She patted the ground, and the kid didn't think twice before following her implied instructions. "It's quite simple. The only thing I need to do is touch your eyes." He seemed a little freaked out by that, and she giggled. "Not open. I will just cover your eyes with my hands, and then I will close mine too." She continued, making sure to use her kid-friendly voice and words that simplified the process. "Then I will be able to read with my eyes closed some information about your quirk. Is that okay?" Izuku watched her for a second, then turned to Mike and signed to ask something that the nurse was not able to understand. So she looked at him for translation. "He wants to know if it hurts," Aizawa said instead, seeing as his husband was looking more nervous about it than the kid himself. "Oh no, not at all. Although I do get a headache if I use it too many times. Don't worry, you won't feel it at all. Are you ready?" He nodded again, excited, and moved closer to her, giving her access to his eyes. Asami looked awkwardly at her former teacher, and she laughed a little, looking through her purse for something. "I always have them on me when we work together," she added, a bag of baby carrots being passed around. "It's an activation requirement. They used to call her Cottontail when she was doing her internship with me." Even Shouta laughed at that, and the poor girl became red while eating 2 of the baby carrots. Once everything was ready, she smiled and put her palm on top of Green Eyes, not making any force nor pressure. She closed her eyes, and the 3 adults could see how for a split second her eyelashes and eyebrows were as green as the kid in front of her. After that, they were pink once again. After a minute or so of them both staying in the same position, she let go of him. The truth is, she was used to using her quirk multiple times at work, as she worked with kids, and most of the time they didn't understand their own quirk yet. Sometimes she used it even just to help the parents keep calm. When she opened her eyes, They went from being a light gray to the exact same color as Izuku's, as the quirk's function was to understand the quirk as if it was her own, mostly to a body-feel level. She couldn't really tell the specifics of how it would work in every situation, but she knew how it felt to have it. "Oh, it's a really interesting one, the quirk you have there," she said, blinking until her eyes were back to normal. "You told me you were under the impression it was a voice quirk, right?" she asked, looking at the homeless-looking hero. "It's actually a mental quirk. He can control sound waves, basically. Doesn't matter if it's his voice, someone else, or just the pin dropping. Any sound wave will do." Izuku looked excited, although he didn't fully understand what that meant. He was a bit distracted by her quirk. He really loved all quirks, and his sounded so interesting too. "You mean like turning the volume up or down?" Not quite. You see, he can kind of tell the waves what to do, ranging from loud and silent to redirecting them and changing other things with the sound. Like the sound vibrations can make, she almost said earthquake, but at the last minute decided against it. Things shake, moving them around or even forcing them to stay. She looked back at the kid. Watching kids know about their quirks was something she loved. The joy in their faces and excitement was always adorable to watch. An amazing quirk for a hero, if you ask me. She winked at him, knowing well that he once asked if he could be a hero. Izuku was almost vibrating from excitement. His face lit up, and he ran up to Mike, making a sign that meant equal, before pointing at him and then at Mike. The scene was so cute that the loud hero couldn't stop himself from tearing up. Aizawa took the initiative and proceeded to lift the little one up. He immediately understood that as an invitation to sit on his shoulders and start clapping. Probably the biggest energy boost he had since coming in. "I always take a picture of the families that come in to know their kid's quirk," Asami said, getting up from the floor. "Would you like one?" Even before they could say yes, Hisashi was already moving Shouta to the middle of the living room to get better lighting. He smiled big, and they waited until Izuku looked at the camera. Even Aizawa was smiling. Their first family picture, one could say. After the picture was taken, and Chio took another look at Izuku's health, seemed like Izuku didn't mind the nosy kiss this time. They made their way out of the apartment, but not before Izuku could gift the nurse with a drawing of herself in a lab coat. She swore to keep it safe until he was a hero, so he would sign it. Asami made sure to let the adults know that Izuku's quirk was not one that was acquired with genetics or during birth, and to look out for him, for stress-induced quirks were a lot more unstable if anything. She didn't see any activation requirements or drawbacks, but no quirk had unlimited power. Shouta reassured her that whatever was to come, they could handle it. Who better for the job than two heroes, one with a voice quirk and one who could erase quirks. That night, Izuku slept like a baby. Maybe because of the old lady's kiss, or because all the excitement wore him out. But either way, he was put to bed next to his two guardians' cats, under the promise to go to the shopping mall the next day. His first outing. Yes, he really was in excellent hands. And if the next morning they had an interesting email, well, that was a coincidence. Totally. I feel like all adoption fics where they adopt Izuku or Hitoshi or whatever character, there's always the mall trip. I have never seen an adoption fic without the mall or shopping trip. And you know what? It makes sense, because you need to go out and buy the kids stuff. The only time that hasn't happened was, it was like a shopping trip, but it was online, because Hitoshi just didn't want to go outside and didn't want to go in the crowds, which, understandable, but there's always a mall trip. Always. It's always a shopping trip, and I love that. And I'm guilty. Fluffy Mind has a mall trip. It has a mall trip planned. In fact, it has 2 of them. We don't get just one, we get 2. Come here, come now. Limited only for today. You buy one, you get 2. Wait, hold up. You buy one, you get one free. One shopping mall for you, one shopping mall for you, one shopping mall for you. But no, yeah, I think this was a very interesting chapter. I am excited to, hear what Izuku's quirk is. That's very interesting. I thought he was gonna have like an actual voice amplifier quirk, or, be able to like mimic voices, or shift the vibrations, or, stuff like that. Kind of like what it was in Mockingbird and Lyrebird. But no, he can manipulate sound waves. His own or anything else. That's actually super fucking cool. I think that's super nice. A mental-based quirk. I love that. Oh my god, I'm excited. I'm vibrating. I'm like Izuku when, he gets fed more quirks. Yes, feed me, feed me. But oh my god. Oh, literally, that is super cool, and it's super kind of overpowered, but so we have confirmed that it is a stress-induced quirk. Also, that email at the end, could that possibly be Tsukuichi emailing that he, got locations and got enough information to absolutely motherfucking put Inko and Hisashi behind bars, and that they're actually right now behind bars? Please and thank you. Could it be an email about officially adopting? They're adopting. Hisashi and Aizawa are adopting. They're like, this is temporary. No, it's not. Stop joking yourself. But yeah, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.